Welcome to the SustainIAP Assurance Application tutorial explaining the Operational Level Lead Auditor workflow. You have been allocated the role of an Operational Lead Auditor. This enables you to conduct audits at your operation only. We will show you how to create new assurance campaigns, allocate auditors, allocate standards and disciplines to these auditors, conducting an audit, finalizing or locking campaigns, and generating assurance reports. Setting up an audit campaign is undertaken in the back office of the application, and you need to be connected to the internet to do this. To conduct an audit, you will need to load the audit campaign onto your computer onto the application, or your laptop or tablet, and then can work on the audit offline. To access the back office, open your internet browser and type in iap.sustainconsulting.co.za. This screen will come up. Next, enter your username and password and click on the login. This is your landing page in the back office. Navigate to Operations, click here, and you will see that your operations name will appear here, in this case Tutorial Operation 1. In the IAP application, this pencil icon indicates an edit function. Now, in order to access your operation, click on the pencil to edit. You will see your operations details here, including the name and the location. You can view the risk materiality here, but as a lead auditor, you can't edit this. The risk materiality has been determined through a workshop with your management team and has been entered into the Sustain system by your IAP administrator. Navigating back to the Manage Operation page, you will see that there's some further functionality here, including managing campaigns and viewing the users that has been licensed to work on the Sustain application for your operation. Let's go back to campaigns. Under the Campaigns tab, you will see that one tutorial audit has been set up for this operation already. If we navigate to the Edit or Pencil function here, you will see that the lead auditor in this tutorial has already been allocated as the lead auditor in this audit, and hence the lead auditor can edit information on this campaign. But let's go back to the Campaigns tab and set up a brand new audit. Simply click on the Add Campaign button in the top right-hand corner, and a new campaign will open up. Enter the following information regarding the assurance campaign: a description, define the scope of the audit. Next, enter the audit start date. This is the time period under audit and is normally a year. Next, you will add the planned start date for the actual audit being conducted. And if you scroll down, you add the campaign. Scroll down again and you will see that there are 3 people in this organization available to partake in the audit. Select the people that you want to partake in this audit. You can include as many people in the audit as you wish, depending on their skills and expertise. One person must be selected as the lead auditor. You will notice that more than one person can also be selected as the lead auditor. This functionality as lead auditor gives another user the permission to reopen audits, we'll talk about that a little bit later, as well as see all of the findings raised by other people involved in the audit. So you may want to rather only select one person as the lead auditor to have access to this functionality in the audit campaign that you are setting up. Next, click the Setup Audit per User button. At the top here, you will see the people that you have included in your audit. By scrolling down, you will see a number of standards. to which your company has subscribed and is preloaded in your audit protocol. Depending on the people partaking in the audit's skills and expertise, you now want to go and allocate certain standards for which these auditors will be responsible during the course of the audit. Once you've selected the standards applicable to each auditor, you want to scroll down and select the corresponding disciplines for these auditors. So in the case of ISO 9000, we know that that relates to quality. In the case of ISO 14000, we know that relates to environmental. OSHA's 18000 and FSSC 22000, OSHA's is S&H, and quality is where our food safety standards are allocated. In this example campaign, we have selected all the standards and all the disciplines for the lead auditor. Next, click on Set Aspects. The application would now have selected all of the different elements and aspects under which questions are available pertaining to the selected standards and disciplines. So you will see where we selected for the lead auditor all disciplines and all standards, all elements and all aspects have been selected. Whereas for the operational site administrator and the operational site manager, certain of these aspects have been grayed out as no questions appear under these aspects for the standards and disciplines allocated to these roles. As the lead auditor and as part of the setup of the audit campaign, you can now select and deselect any of these aspects to form what we call a reduced scope audit. Next, click Save. The campaign has now been set up and the question set will now be available on each auditor's SustainIAP application, whether on their computer or tablet. It's important to alert your auditors that they have been added to a new campaign. If the assurance process will be conducted in a location where there is no internet connectivity, each auditor must ensure that they download their question set while they still have good internet connectivity. From that point forward, they then have the capability to work offline on their question set, but will require internet connectivity to upload their findings to the database in order for you as a lead auditor to view the consolidated results. You can now log out of the back office. To start the audit process, you want to open the SustainIAP application, which has been loaded onto your desktop. Enter your username and password and click on the login button. 2 audit campaigns are available to this lead auditor. The campaign that we've just set up is Tutorial Test Campaign 2, and simply move the slider to the right and download the audit. This may take a little bit of time depending on the strength of your internet connectivity. Your audit will open up immediately and you will see that all of the elements and aspects selected for the lead auditor are available on the landing page. Let's quickly run you through the functionality of the application. If more than one audit campaign has been loaded to a user, in this case the lead auditor, you can toggle between the 2 campaigns at the top of your screen here. And you will notice that Tutorial Test Campaign 2, where we've selected a full scope audit for this lead auditor, and Tutorial Audit 1 looks completely different. This is based on the selection of standards and disciplines allocated to this auditor. So you'll see that there's a lot of flexibility in the system for you to target specific audit areas in your operation. Next, if we move to this drop-down menu here, you will see that there's functionality in terms of a dashboard, reports. Audit is the area of the application that we're in currently. Uploading findings, downloading audits, and access to the back office where we a moment ago set up the audit campaign. And lastly, you can choose to log out. It's important to note that if you want to work offline on the campaigns that we have just downloaded, do not log out of the system, but simply close the system here without logging out in order to have the campaigns available to you. Let's go back to our audit process and let's navigate back to the campaign that we have just set up. You can navigate the question set in one of 2 ways. you can either scroll down to your first preferred element, click on occupational health in this case, and you may want to start your audit by looking at biological hazards. You will now see a set of questions in terms of biological hazards, and you can expand to see the sub-questions by clicking on this arrow here. Another way to navigate through your questions is to click in the right-hand corner and navigate through the questions by scrolling here. Let's for a moment go back to the element level of the audit to show you the second way of navigating through the question set. You will see 3 bars at the top here. Here you can select various elements, select a specific aspect, and you will see that you come to the question set for the element occupational safety aspect hot work. And similarly, you can navigate through the questions here. To start answering the question set, click on the first question. You will notice the question at the top, the rating, which is absolutely required before you can do anything else on this page. And in this case, the client has selected a rating methodology of 0 to 5. Yours might look a little bit different here. You will notice on the side here that 2 disciplines are applicable to this question. The first one is IMS, which stands for Integrated Management Systems. This is where we rate the comprehensiveness of the written management system, in other words, the paperwork. Under the remaining disciplines, like in this case safety and health, or quality, or environmental, etc., we want to rate the effectiveness of the implementation of the management system. So under IMS, it's all about the written management system, and under the remainder of the disciplines, it's all about the effectiveness of the risk control itself. So let's start with IMS. In this example case, the operation has a well-documented and comprehensive operational risk assessment. So we've included a finding that the risk assessment is comprehensive and was recently updated. You may want to add a recommendation if you so please. You can also add a flag. A red flag is typically used to highlight to management a critical finding despite its rating, while a green flag is used to indicate a pocket of excellence. In this case, I'm going to give the operation a green flag. As an auditor, you may also want to use the note to self. You will see a range of colors here. These aren't specific to anything, but you can select, let's say for example, blue in this case to go and speak to someone, red to go and follow something up on site. It's really to assist you as an auditor in your audit process. You may also choose to upload a photograph or other evidence, and once you've uploaded this, you can add a description. Next, we will go to the Health and Safety tab, where we will rate the performance effectiveness of this risk control. In this example case, we have rated the implementation of the risk controls a 1 because when we went out onto site, in this example, none of the risk controls specified in the risk assessment had been implemented. And we may want to highlight this as a red flag to the management team. You can navigate through the questions by pressing the arrows on the left or the right hand side, and it'll take you through to the next question. Now it's important to note here that this is a main question with sub-questions. Main questions cannot be rated. However, you can write a summary finding and a summary recommendation in a main question. The reason for this is that the rating occurs at sub-question level in order for an average to be determined for the main question. Alternatively, you can navigate to different questions by selecting various questions in the drop-down menu here. And here you will see both the main questions, like in this case, as well as its sub-questions. We have now completed the section dealing with hot work. You may want to navigate back to all the questions, and you will see here that you've added a flag and a note to self to the first question. You can also navigate back to the main element, which is occupational health and safety, and you'll see here an indication that you have completed 100% of the question set for hot work and that the operation scored 59.2% performance effectiveness. Another tool that we have built into the application is the search function. Say, for example, that you want to navigate to a specific question that you know is somewhere in the protocol, but you don't know where to find it. You can simply type in a keyword, and the program will find where this keyword occurs in the question set. You can navigate next to any of the other elements or aspects in the protocol you may choose to audit next. When you've come to the end of the day or to the end of the audit campaign, you may want to go and upload your findings. Simply click on the drop-down menu at the top, Upload Findings. The program will ask you which campaign's findings you would like to upload. We're currently busy with Tutorial Test Campaign 2, and click Upload. Please note that this function is only available when you have internet connectivity, and the speed of the upload will depend on the number of questions or findings that you are uploading, as well as your internet speed. Next, you may choose to download the latest data from other auditors. In this case, you are the lead auditor, and this will assist you to consolidate the assurance campaign. Or you may choose to go back to your audit. In this case, let's go back to the audit. From here, you can continue auditing, or you can toggle between campaigns, or you may choose to generate a report. When you are ready to generate a report, go to the drop-down menu and to Reports. Select the campaign for which you want to develop the report and click on Download Report. This may take time again depending on the size of the campaign, the number of data points included, as well as your internet speed. Choose a place to save your report. Click Save and navigate to where you have saved the report. Double-click on the report and you will see your company logo, the name of the campaign, the date on which you generated the report, and if we scroll down, you will see all of the elements that have been completed in your audit campaign. If you scroll down a little bit further, you will see a spider graph containing the performance effectiveness scores achieved. Scrolling down a little bit further, you will see that these element numbers relate to the element numbers given here, and you will see the heat map of the scores for each element based on the colors selected by your company or group. Going into more detail, here you will see the heat map of all aspects under each element. You will also see the materiality here, and this is your performance effectiveness score. Scrolling further down, you will see the green and red flag reports. This is the green flag report, and scrolling down a little bit further, you will see the red flag report. Now let's look at the detailed findings report. We have navigated in this example report to human rights and labour. Under each element contained in the IAP, in this case human rights and labour, you will see graphs containing the aspects, performance evaluation scores, and materiality in this bubble and in this bar chart. Remember that only questions which scored less than 100% will be pulled through into this findings report. Therefore, the questions which scored 100% or was marked not applicable will not be visible in the report, but you can go and look at it in the application at any time. Scrolling down a little bit. The tables contain findings raised under each aspect, and you will see the question number, the question, the written findings, recommendations, as well as flags raised. At any time during an audit, you can view the statistical data generated in the assurance campaign. On the main menu, navigate to the dashboard function. Select the campaign you want to view and you will be taken to the summary page. This page contains the performance effectiveness or PE scores for all elements and aspects which have been answered to date. You can select to see a spider diagram or a bar chart, and this will show all of the elements audited thus far. By hovering your mouse over any one point, the program will display the element name and the score achieved. For a moment, let's go back to the table summary. By clicking on any of the elements, in this case occupational safety, you can drill down into the table summary for this element alone to see the scores achieved per aspect. Here you can view 3 graph types: the spider diagram, the bar and line chart, or the bubble chart. Each one of these charts display the performance effectiveness as well as materiality. In the bubble chart, you can see which areas need to be focused on, in other words, areas that have a high materiality but a low performance effectiveness. Again, by hovering with your mouse cursor over the data points, you can see which aspect you are looking at and see the scores and the materiality. By clicking on any data point, you will be taken back into the question set. Essentially, you can click through any data point displayed on the dashboard to drill down into a greater level of detail and always back into the question set itself. Once an assurance campaign has been finalized and locked for editing, which we will explain later, you will still be able to interrogate the statistics and findings on any campaign in the back office of the application. You will also, in the reporting section, be able to extract certain information based on a selection of standards and disciplines to generate targeted reports. We will explain this to you in a future tutorial. Once you and all other auditors have finalized your audit, you will now go and lock the audit campaign. Locking a campaign means that the audit has been finalized, approved, and signed off by all relevant parties involved. Locking a campaign means that it cannot be unlocked again and no further editing can be undertaken on the campaign. You must therefore verify that everyone's findings have been finalized and uploaded, and that you, as the lead auditor, have synchronized the campaign. Let me show you how to do this. Navigate to the main menu on the left-hand side, and then to the Upload Findings button over here. You will see that we have one new finding to upload. Click the Upload button, and then select Download the latest data to ensure that you are now synchronizing all the other auditors' findings from the database. To do this, select the campaign that you want to synchronize and move the slider if it's not already green. Simply click on Download Audits, and you are done. This will again take time, depending on the internet speed and the number of findings that you need to pull from the database. The next step will be to lock the campaign, and this is done in the back office. Navigate to our main menu and click on Back Office. Enter your username and password and log in. Navigate to your operation, click on the Edit button, and navigate to Campaigns. Again, please make sure that the audit has been finalized and signed off by the relevant parties in your organization before locking the campaign for further editing. Find the campaign that you were working on. In our case, this was tutorial campaign number 2. And click on the lock icon here. The program will give you an option to cancel or to go ahead and lock the campaign. Your audit process is now done and you will no longer see the audit campaign in the audit application itself. The next step will be for people in your operation to undertake corrective action on the audit findings raised, and we have made this process very simple in the SustainIAP application. Instead of manually entering the findings into your action management system, simply click on the icon here, the corrective action icon. Now you will see that this is grayed out for this user. To access the corrective action module, please contact your IAP administrator to activate this for you. So, by clicking on this icon, we will transfer the findings and recommendations raised into the Sustain Corrective Action module, where closeout of actions can be managed. When corrective actions are available to you, you can access the corrective actions here. For more details on this module, please go to the corrective action tutorial. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy auditing using the SustainIAP. Have a good day and see you soon.